You ever wonder why your mirrorless camera gives you 3 shutter mode options? Mechanical, electronic, and electronic first curtain? And more importantly, which one of these works best for bird and wildlife photography? Well, in today's video, we'll be breaking down how each mode works, when to use them, and how they impact real bird and wildlife photography. And if you head out into the field without understanding these, you might be missing some critical opportunities. So let's get started. So how do each of these shutter modes work in the real world? Let's go out to the local pond where the seagulls are playing a game of drop and catch. Here we'll try all 3 shutter modes in the Canon R5 Mark II so you can see how they handle birds in flight scenarios. But first, let's take a look at the shutter modes. These modes can be found in most mirrorless cameras like Canon, Sony, Nikon, and others. In this video, I'll be using my Canon R5 Mark II as an example throughout the video. Okay, first up, mechanical shutter mode. This mode uses 2 physical curtains that travel across the sensor, creating a narrow slit of light of exposure for precise control. On the R5 Mark II, that also means a slower burst rate of 12 frames per second, and shutter speeds maxed out at 1/8,000th of a second. But what are the benefits of mechanical shutter mode for bird and wildlife photography? One benefit is you get no rolling shutter and no banding, perfectly even exposure across your frame, and full 14-bit raw quality, which is perfect for deep color grading when post-processing your photos. Plus, this mode syncs with flash up to around 1/200th or 1/250th of a second. And what are the cons of mechanical shutter? It's the loudest option. The clicking shutter sound can actually spook birds when you're close or when shooting from a hide. And there's also a bit of vibration that may cause a problem with focus when shooting at slower shutter speeds. And of course, moving parts means wear and tear, and these shutter mechanisms are usually rated for 500,000 shots. Sometimes they'll go more than that, sometimes they'll go less. Now let's talk about electronic shutter. In this mode, there are no mechanical curtains, which means no clicking shutter noise. Also in this mode, the sensor scans digitally, line by line, across the sensor. It's really quick, and that means you get crazy burst rates up to 30 frames per second. And you also get available fast shutter speeds up to 1/32,000th of a second. And the best part, it's completely silent and vibration-free, which is ideal for skittish or sensitive wildlife. But it does have a couple drawbacks. Because the sensor scans line by line, fast motion can bend or skew the wingtips of birds or other objects in the background. This is known as rolling shutter. However, I do have to point out that with the Canon R5 Mark II, I haven't noticed any rolling shutter issues like I did with the R5 Mark I. That's because there was a major improvement with the R5 Mark II due to its new stacked BSI CMOS sensor, with much faster readout speeds, which pretty much mitigated this issue. I've noticed that if you activate anti-flicker in the menu and choose a shutter speed like 1/250th of a second, it pretty much eliminates any banding. And it also has this fine-tuning setting within here to customize it to whatever artificial light you're using. Okay, the next mode we'll talk about is the electronic first curtain shutter. You can think of this mode as half electronic, half mechanical. In this mode, the exposure starts digitally and finishes with the first curtain closing over the sensor to end the exposure. This hybrid mode cuts some of the vibration like with electronic shutter and keeps your 14-bit RAW files and flash sync capabilities. But what's the trade-off? With certain lenses in electronic first curtain mode, you'll have to keep the shutter speeds below 1/2000th of a second to prevent uneven brightness or flicker across the frame from artificial lights. The main limitation is with some lenses and shooting above 1/2000th of a second, which can cause uneven brightness, but that's only under artificial light, and isn't a problem when you're shooting under natural light. Okay, so let's go out to the local pond where the seagulls are playing a game of drop and catch, and we'll see what these different shutter modes look like in real-life action. Okay, first let's start with electronic shutter, full electronic shutter. And as you can see while I'm shooting in this mode, there's no shutter clicking noise. Okay, so here's the sequence of shots for electronic shutter mode. Notice all the wing positions made available from this 30 frames per second burst. In this mode, it's really easy to track the bird because there's no delay or blackout while looking through the viewfinder as you're taking the photos and tracking the bird. All right, now let's switch to electronic first curtain. So we have some shutter clicking noise here because the camera still uses one curtain at the end of the exposure. In this mode, we get 12 frames per second maximum. And here's the sequence of shots from this mode. As you can see, there aren't as many choices for wing positions. The birds were also more difficult to track because of the extreme flickering while looking through the electronic viewfinder. Okay, and last, let's switch to mechanical shutter, full mechanical shutter. You can see in this mode the shutter clicking sound is very noticeable. In this mode we also get 12 frames per second maximum. And here's the sequence of shots from this mode. And as you can see, there's a limited amount of choices for wing positions here as well. You'll also notice the bird isn't as centered here due to more difficulty in tracking. Let's take a look at the best result from each of these modes. So you can see here by these photos, you can get great photos in each one of these modes, but you'll have to choose the one that works best for you. At the end of the day, each shutter mode has its strengths and weaknesses. Okay, so let's break things down for practical use for birds and wildlife photography. Use the electronic shutter mode for fast subjects you have to track like birds in flight and want the blackout-free viewing for easier tracking. And it's great for when you want plenty of shots to choose from. The 30 frames per second gives you more than enough photos and will help you catch that perfect moment. It's also perfect for silent shooting so you don't risk scaring off your target bird. Then use electronic first curtain mode for shots with slower shutter speeds or from a tripod. This mode creates very little vibration, if any, due to only using one curtain after the sensor has already read the exposure. And if you want the full 14-bit RAW and high-speed flash capabilities, then this is a good option. I've also noticed it's a little easier to track birds in flight than mechanical mode due to the lack of blackout issues caused by the shutter curtains. And finally, use mechanical shutter mode for more stationary shots like a deer standing still, an owl on a branch, or landscapes. This mode gives you full 14-bit RAW and is the most reliable of the three options for exposures, flash operation, anti-flicker from artificial lighting, and overall cleaner shadows. But I'd use it sparingly because this mode is only rated for 500,000 shots. And as you saw, you can use this mode for shooting birds in flight, but those shutter counts add up fast. Sandy had to have her R5 Mark I shutter repaired after about 250,000 shots. So I personally only use this mode for portraits or landscape photos. So in summary, mechanical mode gives you high reliability with a high bit rate. Electronic gives you speed and silence, and electronic first curtain gives you a balance of those two. I hope this video gave you a better understanding of the three shutter modes found in most modern mirrorless cameras. If you enjoyed the video, please give it a like and consider subscribing for more. And please drop a comment and tell us what shutter mode you use. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. See ya.